Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Texas. Congratulations to their fans, to the players, to Steve Sarkisian. You guys deserve it. You guys are an excellent team. No ill will from coming from a Michigan fan here. I got nothing against Texas. I hope Texas goes all the way, wins the whole thing. Um, Mostly just because Georgia is boring and Ohio State. I'm a Michigan fan. Um, Michigan looked terrible today. Um, there's really no other way to say it. Um, it was a very demoralizing loss. Um, the final score was 31-12. If I had to give some positives, Dominic Zavada was really good again today. Our kicker, he had a 52-yarder and a 37-yarder. He's 5 for 5 on the year. 3 out of those 5 are from 50-plus yards away. He's a very good kicker. We scored more points than Texas in the second half. We held them to 7 points in the second half. Other than that, everything else is a negative. Offense looked terrible. Defense looked terrible. Special teams played good. Turnovers was a problem. And here's the thing, man. I don't want to come on here and yell. It's not worth it to yell. Michigan's had such a magical last 3 years, and we won the Natty last year, and we're clearly a young team that's rebuilding. Texas returned a lot of that playoff team from last year. They're a top 3 school. They're going to be competing to win the SEC and win the national title this year. They're just that good. It's a depressing way to lose. I was hoping we'd be competitive. We weren't. Obviously, we didn't score until 2 minutes left in the game in garbage time. If I had to speak on individual performances, Davis Warren did not play good. He threw 2 interceptions. He had some nice throws, but I don't know. I would say he's getting there in terms of comfortability. He's getting more comfortable. He's still a garbage can quarterback right now. He's terrible. We can't run the ball. Donovan Edwards, again, was basically, he wasn't even really a factor in this game at all. And turnovers. Something that Michigan is really good at avoiding is turnovers, and they had 4 in this game. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. One of them, both fumbles, came off of good drives. And there was a couple of times where we got into Texas territory and had an opportunity off of that 37 and 52-yard field goals where we should have scored. We should have scored touchdowns. We should have had more points. It should have been closer. But we couldn't capitalize. Texas defense did a very good job at stopping us when it mattered and forcing field goals, and all the credit in the world to them. But this offense looked terrible. And now I want to say that they're improving somewhat, but probably not very much. They got a long ways to go. Defense got exposed, completely exposed, especially in the first half. Texas was able to move the ball at will, running the ball, passing the ball. I mean, they couldn't be stopped. Second half we held them, but those interceptions definitely didn't help. Those fumbles definitely didn't help. You can't expect to win very many games when you have 4 turnovers in a game. I think the last time we did that was last year against Bowling Green. Now we did win that game 31-6, but it was Bowling Green. It wasn't a ranked team. It wasn't a team that anyone expected Michigan to lose to. But this time it was against a top 3 team in Texas. you can't make mistakes like that. Now, I think regardless regardless if we didn't let's say we didn't have those interceptions and those fumbles, we probably still would have lost this game. Texas just was more talented than us. They outcoached us. They outschemed us, and that's basically it. They're just better, and I feel like we're not relying and we're not really sticking to what we're good at. We're not running the ball as good as we should be, and we're not running the ball as much as we should be. I don't really know what to say. It's demoralizing. It's embarrassing. It's depressing. I'm trying to think of more adjectives to describe this loss, but I don't have anything. I think this broke I believe, 29 or whatever the record is. We, I think like a 29 game winning streak in regular season. Our last regular season loss was October 30th, 2021 against Michigan State. And it also broke a 23 game home winning streak for Michigan today. So a lot of records were broken, not the right ones. Michigan does not look like a team that is going to be able to compete at a top level this year, especially with that offense. That defense doesn't seem like they can keep up with top offenses like they would have been able to last year. This team's got a long ways to go. Sharon Moore, I'm very confused about Sharon Moore's play calling. His play calling confuses me sometimes. I feel like he's being too conservative. The last 2 weeks he's been too conservative. He needed to take some chances. We're down 24-3? We're down 24-3, and it's 4th down and 2 or whatever it is, deep in Texas territory, and he kicks a field goal. What are you doing? Go for it. You got nothing to lose. You're going to lose the game regardless. Kicking a field goal isn't going to do you any good. It just stuff like that frustrates me. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Michigan's 1-1. It's probably been a while since we've been 1-1. I guess 2020 was the last time we went 1-1. But that was the COVID year. And that's a weird year. 2018 we started 1-1. We had a loss in week 1 and then a win the next week. But yeah. We play Arkansas State next week. We should win that game. We should. Arkansas State's no good. We get it at home again. I expect us to win by 50 points, but what is a win over Arkansas State going to do? After that, we play USC, which, we'll have to I feel like the Arkansas State game will be a kind of a way to build confidence for this offense maybe a little bit and have kind of a bounce back. I feel like this is coming at a good time. In time for the USC game, which is also at home. So things aren't bleak and awful and terrible. We're not winning a natty this year, obviously. I didn't think we were going to anyway. And it doesn't seem like we'll be competitive at a top level, but we'll see what we can do. We still obviously have a chance to make a 12-team playoff if we win out, and we could even lose another game and still make it. It just really depends on what those games are and how we lose, I guess. But with the 12-team playoff thing, the stakes are still, they're a little bit lower. If this would have happened last year, I would have been way more upset than I am this time around for this year, because last year the standard was a national title, and that was the most talented team I've ever seen from Michigan. Probably is the most talented Michigan team ever, that 2023 squad. if it was last year, it would have been a lot worse because the 4-team playoff was still a thing. We had national champion aspirations. We lose a big game by a lot of points. It's even worse. But yeah, we're a young team. We'll come back from this. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Congratulations to Texas, and I'll see you guys next week for the Arkansas State post-game video.